you ever stop to ask yourself, why do I care so much what they think? Why a silent phone, a seen message, or a blank stare from someone else can ruin your whole day? This isn't just insecurity, it's dependency, and it goes deeper than you think. Stick with me, because soon you'll see what it's really costing you. You've been conditioned, not just to seek approval, but to need it, to feel valuable only when it's mirrored back by someone else. You chase smiles, reassurance, reactions, desperate for a hit, and when you get one, you don't feel powerful. You just feel momentarily safe. But what if I told you that safety is a trap? Keep watching. You'll soon understand why that craving is the enemy of real confidence. Nietzsche warned, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. He called this the herd instinct, the pull to conform, to stay small, to never stand out. But what if you stepped outside of it? What if, for the first time in your life, you stopped asking, do they approve? And started asking, do I? This video won't give you hacks. It's not motivational fluff. But in 20 minutes, if you stay with it, you'll understand exactly why you crave validation and how to stop. It's not about being louder. It's about being anchored, quiet, solid, unshakable. And trust me, that kind of certainty is more powerful than you've ever been told. Every time you say yes just to avoid conflict, every time you scroll, check likes, or tweak yourself to fit in, you hand over your power. You feed a craving that never ends. By day's end, you're burnt out, disconnected, like you've been running to nowhere. If this is hitting home for you, go ahead and hit that like button. Coming up, why this cycle is so hard to break and what it's really draining from you. This is the addiction to validation. You need someone else to approve of you, just to feel okay. But here's the hard truth. The more you seek it, the more it controls you. You end up a puppet, your strings pulled by glances, reactions, silence. Soon, we'll dive into Nietzsche's warning about what that really costs you. Nietzsche didn't pull punches. He warned about the silent way we surrender ourselves to the crowd, pleasing, performing, disappearing. When you live for approval, you're no longer writing your story. You're playing a part in someone else's script. But what if you rip that script in half? Coming up, how to do exactly that. This isn't about being louder or more liked. It's about stepping back, withdrawing your energy, and saying, I'm not here for your applause. Silence, stillness, and restraint become power moves. How many ego battles you've fought just to be liked, and how much they've cost you. Ask yourself, how often have you reacted just to protect your pride? How many fights have you picked, not because they mattered, but because you feared being disliked? The moment you stop chasing those reactions, you take your mind back. Coming next, the hidden conditioning that's tricked you into thinking approval equals worth. You were taught early, your worth is tied to how well you fit in. But the truth? Power lives in knowing you're enough without applause. And that truth can't be taken from you. Seeking approval is like pouring water into a bucket with no bottom. No matter how many likes, compliments, smiles, nods, it never fills. You hit refresh, you tweak the caption, you scan the room for a glance, a reaction, a sign you're enough. But it's always just out of reach. You're not broken, you're in a system that feeds on your insecurity. Here's why that exhaustion isn't your fault. Stay with me. Every time you seek validation, you trade power for a sugar hit, a dopamine drip, a second of relief in exchange for an hour of self-doubt. You hand over the remote control to your emotions, to people who aren't even thinking about you. A stranger's comment decides how you feel about your body. A colleague's silence decides if your idea was good. A seen but no reply rewrites your whole day. That's not life, that's slavery. And if this is hitting somewhere real, tap subscribe and stay with us. This work doesn't just challenge your thoughts, it rewrites your patterns. Coming up, Nietzsche's warning about why living for approval steals your freedom. Nietzsche didn't sugarcoat it. The surest way to corrupt a youth is to teach him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently. It's not just about youth, it's about you right now. The fastest way to kill your potential is to convince you that fitting in matters more than standing out. If you want to feel accepted, play the game, say the right thing, think the safe thoughts. Blend in, but if you want freedom, you'll have to risk being misunderstood. You'll have to stand apart. And yeah, that's scary. But here's what's scarier. Waking up one day and realizing you've spent years living a version of yourself that was never yours to begin with. You're not addicted to praise. You're addicted to feeling temporarily okay. That quick hit, the like, the compliment, the nod, it soothes the ache for a moment. But the cost? You lose track of who you are, what you believe, what you even want. And that's the trap. You're not addicted to praise. You're addicted to feeling momentarily okay. But the cost? You lose yourself. The cycle is brutal. Seek approval, get the hit, feel calm, crave more. Adjust who you are, resent it, feel worse, repeat. Every time you try to be enough for them, you become less you. Here's a metaphor. Imagine your self-worth is a bank account. Every time you beg for reassurance, you make a withdrawal. Every time you compare, scroll, twist yourself to be liked, withdrawal. Every time you don't speak your truth, withdrawal. But when was the last time you made a deposit? When was the last time you gave yourself a well done without needing an audience? Next, the emotional cost of staying in that overdraft and how to break the loop. This isn't just about confidence, it's about time. You waste years shaping a life that doesn't even feel like yours. You go places to be seen, not because you want to be there. You wear what works, not what expresses. You say what's safe, not what's real. This is the trap. But the next chapter, it's about how to burn the script and write your own. Ask yourself, how much of your life have you shaped to be liked? Now, imagine living it differently. That vision you just saw, that's what we're building. Nietzsche didn't just call out the crowd, he called out you. The part of you that shrinks when the room gets quiet. The part that hides behind easy smiles and safe opinions. The way you hold yourself back, not to be great, but just to avoid being noticed. Coming next, why that feels safe, but quietly kills your soul. The herd loves safety, no risk, no rejection, no criticism. But that comfort, it's a padded cell. You don't grow, you don't speak, you don't live. You exist just to be accepted. It's like staying in a job you hate just because it pays the bills. You survive, but you go to bed empty. Let's talk about the price of that comfort. Nietzsche did. Why do we blend in? Because we were taught being accepted is survival. As kids, rejection felt like death. Being left out, humiliating. So we learned to adjust, to soften, to smile, to hide. But now, that instinct isn't safety. It's self-betrayal dressed up as strategy. Coming up, the cost of trying to be liked by everyone, and why it's never worth it. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. That is the nature of living creatures. What does that mean? If you don't learn to listen to your own voice, your own values, desires, and truth, someone else will start making those decisions for you. The herd's safety, it's an illusion that costs your soul's voice. When you trade your authenticity for approval, day after day, post after post, eventually, you won't even recognize your own thoughts anymore. You become a passenger in your own life, taking orders from the expectations of others, losing the freedom to steer your own course. This isn't just about fitting in, it's about surrendering your very self. Here's a real-world example. Ever been in a group chat where everyone's performing, saying the right things, joking in the right tone, but you leave the conversation feeling hollow, like you weren't even there? That's the cost. Next, how that mask formed and what it's hiding. Because you didn't start out pretending, you became someone else to survive. But now, it's time to come back to yourself. Let's dismantle that false self, piece by piece. Be honest. The person you present to the world, is it really you? Or is it the version of you they like? The easy version, the agreeable one, the one who knows how to make people comfortable, even when you're uncomfortable. Coming up, how your personality was shaped by fear and how to finally reclaim it. It started early. Smile when you're sad. Apologize even when you didn't do anything wrong. Nod along just to avoid tension. You learn that shrinking made you safe. But those tiny edits, the silences, the small yeses, the careful words, they stacked up, and over time, they became a full-time mask. You didn't just wear it, you became it. Now it shows up everywhere. You overthink texts, you replay conversations, you scan the room for who you need to be. It's subtle, it's constant, it's exhausting. But here's the twist. That mask isn't protecting you anymore. It's suffocating you. You've built this careful version of yourself, but you're disconnected from it. It's like watching your life through a screen you're not allowed to touch. And here's the truth you've been avoiding. Every time you contort yourself to be accepted, you lose a piece of who you actually are. What if you could finally stop performing and still feel loved? What if you didn't have to win the room? What if you didn't have to earn your space? Nietzsche dared us to drop the mask, to stop living for applause and start living for truth, to risk rejection in exchange for self-respect. Because freedom doesn't come from being liked, it comes from being real. Next, we'll unpack that shift step by step. You don't beat this by trying harder. You don't win by shouting louder, fixing more, proving yourself constantly. You win by becoming someone who doesn't need their approval in the first place. Not louder, just more real, more you. Let's ground that. Think about your day. You walk into a room and instantly scan. Who's watching? Who do I need to be in here? You shrink a little, edit yourself a bit. You say yes when you mean no. You laugh at things that aren't funny. You don't even notice it anymore. It's automatic. Tiny self-abandonments, dozens per day. By the time you get home, you're exhausted, not because of the tasks, but because of the pretending. It's like carrying a backpack filled with everyone's expectations, their opinions, their likes, their reactions. You keep shifting it around on your shoulders, trying to make it less painful. But it never gets lighter. And here's the shift, the one that changes everything. You stop saying, I hope they like me, and start saying, I like me, whether they get it or not. That moment, that's power. It's like dropping the backpack, standing up straight, and breathing for the first time in years. Here's how you know what's real. Think about when you're alone. Completely. No audience, no phone, no performance. Maybe you're cooking and humming to yourself, or dancing like an idiot in your kitchen, or lying on the floor, feeling calm. Not because you achieved something, but just because you exist. No one's clapping, and yet you feel you. That's what you're trying to get back to, not a better version. Just the true one. Nietzsche said, become who you are. It's not advice. It's a warning, because if you don't choose who you are, the world will. And the version it chooses, it'll be smaller, safer, more digestible, but not you. This isn't about perfection or popularity. It's about self-respect, the kind that doesn't need an audience. And that's what we're going to build next. Here's the big flip. You stop living to be liked and start living to be aligned. That means asking a different question. Not, will they judge me? But, is this aligned with who I'm becoming? Think about a ship in the ocean. If it's constantly tossed by waves, trying to please every current and storm, it will never reach its destination. But if it's anchored to a solid compass, it will sail steadily, no matter the storms. Approval? It fades like the tide. Integrity? That's the lighthouse that never goes out. Most people waste their time chasing validation from people they wouldn't trade lives with. You start living by your values. What does that look like? Maybe you decide to speak up at work, even if some people roll their eyes. Maybe you stop pretending to like certain things because it's easier than standing out. Maybe you finally say no to something that drains you, even if it means disappointing others. And when you do that, you stop chasing peace and start creating it. Ask yourself, what do I actually value? What would I keep doing, even if no one clapped? Maybe it's writing or painting or training hard at the gym. No spotlight, no approval. That's your real path, and it starts right now. Now we shift from why to how, because self-respect isn't a mindset, it's a muscle. You train it in the moments that cost you. Here's how to start. Step 1, the 24-hour rule. When you feel triggered, judged, ignored, criticized, pause. Don't rush to react. Don't text back. Don't explain. Don't defend. Just wait, because that impulse to clear it up or set the record straight, that's your old wiring, the version of you that still needs to be understood. Instead, be still. Hold the silence. Watch. In that pause, you'll see something clearly. Most of the time, there's nothing to fix. Only your ego looking for a reason to stay loud. This is about not letting the moment steal your mind. Step 2, micro-rejections. Every yes you say just to be liked, that's self-abandonment in disguise. So here's your practice. Start saying no to small things that don't feel right. Say no to answering right away. No to the thing you don't want to do. No to reshaping yourself just to avoid a pause in the room. No story, no softening, no performance. You're building a habit of truth, and it starts quiet. Because every time you choose alignment over approval, you take your power back by degrees. Step 3, self-respect habits. Most of your confidence won't come from big wins. It'll come from quiet promises kept. Wake up when you said you would. Train when you don't feel like it. Speak with honesty, even when your voice shakes. Step away from the phone. Sit with your discomfort instead of numbing it. These aren't hacks, they're votes. And every small action is a vote for who you're becoming. That's how identity shifts. Not in the moment of clarity, but in the follow-through. Your 7-day challenge, the validation detox. Let's make this real. For 7 days. Don't post for likes. If it's not true, don't share it. Sit in the silence. Don't explain yourself. Let people not get it. That tension is where clarity grows. Don't chase reactions. Don't tweak your tone. Don't scam faces. Say it straight and let it land. Say one clear no a day. Not because you're cold, but because you're clear. Pause before replying. Let the trigger pass. Answer from calm, not from fire. Write one win per day for your eyes only. A moment of alignment. A truth spoken. A habit kept. What to expect. By day 2, the noise will get louder. You'll feel the urge to check, to share, to shrink. Don't. That discomfort, it's the old identity losing its grip. By day 4, something shifts. You feel cleaner, sharper, less pulled. By day 7, you don't feel louder. You feel anchored. And once you taste that kind of peace, you'll never want to go back. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be real, to be whole, to be free. That'll cost you. Some will leave. Some won't get it. Some will twist your silence into arrogance. Let them. Because when you stop being available for scraps, you become rare, rooted, unforgettable. Because the moment you stop being available for anything less than truth, you stop blending in. You start standing out. You become unmistakable. This is your rebirth. Not louder, not flashier. Just still, certain, untouchable. From now on, you don't justify truth. You live it. If you've made it this far, it's because a part of you is already ready. So now I ask you, are you willing to be misunderstood in the name of your own freedom? If yes, drop it in the comments. I choose my peace. Let's see how many here are done begging to belong and ready to lead themselves. Now don't stop here. The next video, it's exactly what you didn't know you needed. See you there.